Hello to you all from the new part of the daily map report prepared by the Pioneer team. In a moment, we will analyze the developments on the last day of the Russia-Ukraine war with a map. According to the latest reports, the clashes between the Ukrainian army and the Russian army have intensified on the Zaporizhia front line. However, no territorial changes has been observed in recent days. We have already mentioned the war strategies of the Ukrainian army. These strategies are still valid, and there are attempts to wear down the Russian army at many points. In fact, we can say that these attempts are successful. As the Russian army wears down, the Ukrainian army increases its attacks more and more. So what is the latest situation on the front line? Let's analyze the developments together. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss the Pioneer's daily map report and reports on the agenda. Also, don't forget to comment on our videos and express your opinion about our content. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. Let's start our report today with the latest developments on the Zaporizhia front line. There are two sectors on the Zaporizhia front line that we generally cover, Robotyne and Vuhledar sectors. Let's first look at the developments in the Robotyne sector. Let's open the Robotyne region on the map. In our previous reports, we made general situation assessment. The Robotyne region is largely under the control of the Ukrainian army. There is Russian domination in a very small part. Ukrainian troops continue their operation to clear the Russian positions in the region. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian artillery units are conducting a fierce artillery attacks on the Robotyne region. As you know, the Ukrainian army has expanded in front in this region. In the context, we see that the containment movement is being carried out in the southwest direction of Robotyne. Also, when you look at it, we see that there is a movement of the Ukrainian troops both encircling Robotyne and advancing to the south of Robotyne. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian troops continue their attacks in the direction of Verbov. Here we know that the Ukrainian army has broken through the Dragon's Teeth, part of the Russian defense line. Armored vehicles and tanks of the Ukrainian army maintain their presence east of the Dragon's Teeth defense line. The presence of the Ukrainian armored vehicles and tanks in this area is very important, because in this way the Russian positions in Verbov are more easily dispersed. However, this process must continue, otherwise Ukrainian troops cannot hold on this region. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian troops launched a fierce artillery attacks on Verbov. After this attack, Ukrainian infantry units mobilized. However, no results were achieved. It is also claimed that have made limited gains in some areas. However, there is no information on the maps shared by the sources in the region that we can confirm these claims. We will continue to follow up. Artillery duels here have increased considerably in recent days. According to the latest report, Russian artillery shelled Ukrainian positions in Orekhovo, Malyanka, Tokmakcha, and Gulyapol. On the other hand, Ukrainian artillery shelled Russian positions in Zherebyanka, Tokmak, Kopany, Lchenko, Novoprokopovka, and Novofedorievka. I would like to continue our report with the latest developments in the Vuhledar sector, where there is a pressure from the Russian troops in the direction of Priyotny. The Russian troops are carrying out a number of sudden offensives in order to prevent Ukrainian troops from attacking Priyotny. However, the Russian army did not achieve any gains during these operations. The Russian army is unable to make any progress in all of its effort in the region. This situation causes heavy losses to the Russian troops. However, according to our sources in the region, the precise order was given to the Russian troops. Despite all the losses, Russian soldiers were ordered to advance. These losses also include ammunition and vehicles of the Russian army. In other words, the Russian war leadership has given the order to continue the offensive in order to completely lose the Russian army. If the defense forces of the Ukrainian army can resist these attacks for a while longer, they will be even more advantageous, because as long as the attacks continue, the losses of the Russian army are increasing. This situation causes the Russian defense forces in the region to gradually decrease. Therefore, the areas of the Russian domination in the region south of Ukraine are become simpler targets for the Ukrainian army. This situation can be seen more clearly in the coming days. There is an attempt by Ukrainian-based troops to advance towards Zaporizhia. However, there was no results from this attempt. Ukrainian troops had to retreat. In this area too, the fighting between artillery units continue. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian positions in Stromayorsk, Belagodaznoye, and Yorkhin were hit by Russian artillery. On the other hand, Ukrainian artillery struck Russian positions in Priyodny, Stromelinka, Kermenchik, Novodonetsk, and Novomyrosk. Let's continue with the developments on the Donetsk front line. As you know, there is not much change of dominance in this region. Here, we only see the traditional Marinka attacks of the Russian troops. According to the latest reports, the Russian army continued its Marinka attacks in the region today. However, no gains were made. Ukrainian defense forces in the region managed to repel the attacks of the Russian troops. There is also mobility of the Russian troops in the Avdiivka region. They also carried out some attacks movements here. However, the Ukrainian defense forces managed to repel these attacks as well. We can see that the Ukrainian army is in a defense positions here. There are not many attacks attempted by the Ukrainian troops. However, Ukrainian artillery units are active. Ukrainian artillery units have hit Donetsk and Horlivka in recent days. Russian artillery units have not carried out any attacks except for attacks in direction of Marinka. I would like to continue our report with the latest developments on the Bakhmut front line. As you know, the Ukrainian army captured Klishchivka and Andriivka south of Bakhmut. There are allegations that the railway lines east of the village centers have come under the control of the Ukrainian army. The fact that the Russian army suddenly switched to an offensive positions in this region confirms these allegations. Although Russian troops launched an attack here, they had to retreat without making any gains. Although Russian troops carry out furious attacks in the recapture of area of dominance of the Ukrainian troops, no results have obtained during these attacks. Ukrainian troops are largely holding their ground. According to the latest reports, there are also intense battles between artillery units in this region. Russian artillery shelled Ukrainian positions in Klishchivka, Espryony, and Seversk. On the other hand, Russian positions in Ozarnivka, Kordomoivka, and the city center of Bakhmut were hit. We are unable to provide information on the Luhansk front line in today's report because there was no significant events in this region today. What do you think? Do you think the Ukrainian troops will succeed in their strategy on the Zaporizhia front line? What do you think about the containment strategy in this region? Do you think Ukrainian troops will make further gains in Verbov? What do you think about the latest situation on the Bakhmut front line? Let me know in the comments. I read and care about all your comments.